Welcome to 2020 Virtual GYROPALOOZA. You know, we always look forward to meeting with our fans every GYROPALOOZA. This time it's going to be a little bit different, but we got an opportunity to really reach a broader audience by doing a virtual format, so we look forward to it very much. We'll dive right in. We plan to kind of make this a lab report of everything, essentially. We're going to talk about all of our discs. Chad will be talking a lot about our prototype discs that we've been working on. And we'll talk about a lot of our new bags that we've got coming down, and also talk about some new baskets that we got coming. And so, we'll dive right in. We just recently released the Axiom Shuttle and the Voyager Light. The Axiom Shuttle bag was inspired a lot by the wildly popular MVP Shuttle, the most affordable backpack bag, great bang for your buck. Axiom's known for the style, so that's kind of what inspired the heather fabric and 5 different heather color options. Nice chrome silver zippers that really shine. This here, the Voyager Light, was mostly inspired by capturing the functionality of the larger Voyager bags, or the more premium Voyager bags, and making them much more affordable. It is designed to be collapsible for shipping. All the side panels will collapse down, much more cost effective, so we can offer it at a price of only $99.95. So very affordable. This is another bag that we've got coming down the pipeline. It's actually the same design as the MVP Voyager Light, just the big difference being heather material with the nice shiny chrome zippers. Now, obviously, this one's sticking out probably the most out of all these bags here, the watermelon edition. This one is also coming. Again, same design as these, except just in the watermelon color, and it would only be appropriate to release it as an Axiom bag. For everyone that's collecting watermelon discs, we've actually had requests for watermelon bag, several requests, and so there it is. It is coming. As far as the timing of these bags, we've just released the Voyager Light, the Axiom Shuttle. The Axiom Voyager Light and the Axiom Watermelon Voyager Light are probably a few months down the road, probably closer to Christmas time. They may or may not be before Christmas, just depends on the timing of production, but we're looking to get these going as soon as possible just because we feel pretty confident in how popular options they're going to be. Another one I want to talk about, these have actually been released a little bit earlier this year. This is the Nucleus bag. We call it the Nucleus version 2. We've made a lot of improvements to our bags, and actually this has been the case with all of our bags in the lineup, between the cell, beaker, Nucleus. Admittedly, we were quite new to producing bags when we started making our first bags. We have learned a tremendous lot about bags over the last few years, and so we're kind of the culmination of everything we've learned about bags in the manufacturing process of bags. We've kind of put a lot of improvements in these new versions, and so like in the case of the Nucleus version 2, we've really simplified it. We've also optimized the design to work well with the rover part. Overall, just simplified the side pockets, and it also holds a lot more discs. In fact, it actually holds more discs than the Voyager bags, just because how much wider it is, and also these side pockets can now also hold discs. So we've got 3 putters in here. So overall, a lot of discs. So again, and it will still fit inside a rover cart with this many discs in it. But overall, the large capacity of the Nucleus it makes it also great for a good field bag. Good shoulder bag. You want to carry lots of extra discs to go out and do field practice. So, that's kind of a new thing in this market. And also another bag that was upgraded. We got the beaker version 2. These bags are every bit as durable as you can ever imagine. We've learned so much in the process, and the life is greatly extended. I know in the earlier bags, we've learned a lot about how to improve the durability. I mean, these bags, you literally could try to break them by hand, and you can't. I'll rip on them right here, and I bet you we cannot get anything to break on any of these. Now watch, this would be like a Cybertruck demo.
Throw the steel ball at it.
Also, recently we're actually working on the Axiom cell bag. It will have the same heather fabrics and the chrome zipper accent, so it's got a good color style to it, just like what Axiom is known for. The pandemic this year has really fueled the demand for baskets. A big part of it was because a lot of parks and recreation areas were closed during the shutdowns that were happening, and a lot of people still wanted to play disc golf, and so having a basket in your backyard allowed you to stay at home and keep playing disc golf. And so the demand for baskets has been extraordinary and continues to remain that way. The light basket essentially is all about lightweight. Essentially, it's in the name. The Streamline Light here is another option that we're working on, and it's very light. Only 25 pounds or so. Pick it up, no problem. It's more than 10 pounds lighter than the Black Hole Pro. Mainly because the chain is a little bit lighter, which contributes to that very lightweight aspect of it. However, the geometry of the chain, it's still 12 outer, 12 inner, and they're arranged symmetrically, so very minimal sacrificing in the performance. It catches just about as good as a Black Hole Pro, except being much lighter. The transit bag has been a very popular option, and we've actually had a lot of requests for a transit bag for the Pro HD basket. And so this is the Black Hole Transit HD. It is for the Pro HD, or it also works for the Axiom Pro HD, kind of in the same way that we've got the Black Hole Transit for the Black Hole Pro bag. This is the exact same overall design, other than it is a little bit bigger of a bag to hold the Black Hole Pro basket. As you probably have seen in other lab reports, we are refining our Eclipse Plastic. We're making essentially a 2.0 version of the Eclipse Plastic, which we are targeting to make it the brightest and longest lasting glow in disc golf. We'll also be adding on another option of the UV flashlight. We have a nice compact flashlight. It's got 12 LEDs, packs a bright punch for getting your disc charged. And we are also working on it's got 51 LEDs, so it's a very, very bright option. And UV light works the best when it comes to charging glow discs. It really activates that glow. And we've actually got a few glow discs here to show. We can charge these up. And this is in broad daylight of the warehouse, and you can still see the glowing on these things. This glow is tremendously bright. And these are prototype glow pilots. These will be part of the GYROPALOOZA player pack. We also have some Eclipse trays. This will also be part of the GYROPALOOZA player pack option. Again, these are just randomly sorted into the packs. And also another prototype we're going to have, the Eclipse Tesla. We'll just kind of charge it up here. And again, this is in broad daylight. When you turn the lights out, this thing lights up the room. And it will hold a charge bright enough to continue playing a whole round of disc golf. Again, you can charge it every few holes if you want to be super bright, but it is bright enough to play a full round. Go ahead and I'll talk about some of the discs in here. All these bags kind of have some discs that are new, or at least just some discs that are noteworthy. For example, the Plasma Envy. And again, we're kind of giving it the new kind of cosmic style plasma. And so we've been able to get in a lot more new colors that you can ever imagine in these Plasma Envies. And yeah, overall, a lot of our recent runs of plasma will kind of have what looks like cosmic plasma. We do plan to offer both, just the traditional plasma and what looks like cosmic plasma. We don't plan to separate them out just because plasma by nature is just known for its pearly, swirly effect. So we're just going to mix them in there randomly. And also another disc that we got here, the Cosmic Electron Pilot. Nice, they look great on the outside here. I'll show you some of the color options. These colors are just absolutely wild. The multicolor injection, you can get several colors in there. And so this was something that we were planning to release this year, and we still plan to release later. The only reason why we haven't released them yet is just because we've seen such an increase in demand for our discs. A lot of these discs that we were planning to release this summer, we just had to hold off because we needed to increase our supply before we could release them again. So they're on the production schedule to run more so that we have enough for the release. In fact, when we released the Fission Wave and the Cosmic Neutron Photon, we we sold out more than our supply was. We had to quickly get some more in production during the pre-order week, and dealers were incredibly patient with the time it took to get through those orders, just because we were just overwhelmed with the demand. And so these discs will be seeing a release later this year, or hopefully before the end of the year. And so that's just the reason why we have them here, but we haven't released them yet, just because we need to increase the supply of them.
One thing I actually want to do is take a step back and talk about bringing our injection molding in-house. Brad and I haven't had a good chance to really break down the reasons as to why and how we've done that. So it was late 2018 when we got our machines in-house. That late 2018 off season is when we started getting the machines fired up, turned on, getting everything hooked up. Then early 2019 is when we really actually started taking off with our production. But 2020 turned out to be quite a significantly different planned production year for us. As we know, the pandemic caused a lot of disruption to supply chains, and the sport of disc golf actually took a different direction where it has actually exploded. Disc golf, thank goodness, has been a social distancing activity, a chance for everyone to get outdoors, somewhat of a way to socialize, safely during this pandemic. So it's took off in an explosion direction. So 2019 season for us, when it came to in-house injection molding, was mostly our transition year from our previous molder. That year, it was a combination of both our machines running as well as our previous molder. So both facilities were producing our discs as we were ramping up and fine-tuning all of our equipment. And 2020 was our first real season of full-blown running all of our production in-house. The mold reconditioning process was mostly necessary because our equipment is very specialized, that the adaptability of our molds into this specialized equipment was kind of necessary for everything to run together. So I want to talk about one of the reasons why we really brought our production in-house. Obviously, it's for a number of great reasons, but some of which, having our production in-house allowed us to invest in specialized equipment that's really dedicated to producing our discs. Some of the other benefits of bringing our production in-house, obviously the plethora of colors that we're able to introduce into our inventory, but also things like finalizing fission plastic, finding a very consistent and reliable blend that works for our discs. Also, cosmic plastic has been quite a fun implementation into our multi-color injection molding machine that we have. And you might have noticed that we've actually reiterated on several different patterns on how those colors are introduced into this. We've actually got some of our recent colors here. And again, it's just something that we've been constantly improving over time. But we're very happy with the results now. We'll still probably try to do a few more patterns beyond this, but we're very pleased with the technology that we're able to experiment with. Another exciting thing that our in-house injection molding facility allowed us to do was improve our glow plastic, our Eclipse 2.0. One improvement that we're going to take is for the overmold discs, our glow is going to transition into the center core. And this center core has an incredible amount of glow material that holds a glow for an incredible amount of time. Our goal with Eclipse 2.0 is to be the longest and brightest glow on the market. That's our entire goal. One note is actually the overmold is still the same white color as original Eclipse, but it no longer glows. We've just transitioned all of the glow material into the center in a very high concentration. Our version 1 was using the glow material in the overmold. Now, there's actually a technical limitation on how bright you can make that overmold, mostly because our overmold also contains all of the weight filler, and that weight filler really detracts from how bright your overmold can be. And now that we are isolating the glow concentrate in the center, it allows us to cram all of our glow into the center that's highly visible while maintaining the overmold that's very gyroscopic. And with the ramp up of our in-house molding facility of 2020, we are actually exceeding some of our production targets that we had planned for. But as we know, this season disc golf has really exploded, and we're able to barely keep up. In order to cope with this extreme demand that we're faced with right now, we have actually purchased multiple machines to add to our current lineup of machines. So we're actually going to be more than doubling our current capacity in preparation for what we believe is going to be a very sustained growth of disc golf during this pandemic. So also in addition to more machines, we actually brought on a couple more hot stamp machines. We've actually been experimenting with bottom stamping, which is now going to be, debuted in our GYROPALOOZA pack. Since we had to shift gears this season with our machines mostly focused on keeping our current inventory in stock, I kind of want to at least share a lot of the molds that we did plan on launching this 2020 season. Unfortunately, we were only able to launch the reactor and the ohm, but here's several more examples of molds that we are going to be introducing as soon as we can. First example here, this is actually a complement to the ohm. It's a more neutral to slightly understable complement to the ohm. Again, it's got the classic rim depth and same feel and speed, but it's going to have more of that broken in out of the box flight. Something you can have a lot of glide and maybe small turnovers with. The next one actually is more of a fun experiment that we've done. These are proxies that we've experimented with some citrus scent. So I believe some of these may have been introduced into our inventory, just a few that might have some citrus overmolds. So I'm kind of curious if anyone's going to find any, so let us know. But otherwise, this is a fun experiment. Again, a derivative of just having our machines in-house and being able to experiment with R&D and just new things we can do. The next mold here is a streamline prototype. This is actually a streamline distance driver. This is actually a 13 speed, slightly overstable, and we plan on likely launching this 2021. The next mold here is another streamline prototype. This is actually a complementary mid-range to the runway. Again, this is a more neutral, maybe slightly understable depending on your power level. This thing goes very straight once you get your hyzer angle adjusted for that neutral stability. We got another streamline prototype. This is actually one of my favorites. If you're a fan of the Trace, this model here is going to be a very good complement, something that you can hyzer flip much more reliably. This mold's actually really exciting to me. We've retired several fairway drivers in our lineup, and this is one that's going to be key to help fill in some of those holes that we've opened up. This is a process of going through our lineup, looking at a lot of our mold designs and selecting some of the designs that were maybe a bit dated. This is our way to introduce mold designs that we feel are more adapted to today's disc golf needs. And this fairway driver I expect to be a very, very popular staple in many bags. It's a very straight, stable fairway driver with a lot of glide. Oh, this mold's actually kind of an interesting model. This mold is not going to be launched for the fact that we named this the Plague. Out of this season's circumstances, we don't feel that it's appropriate to name a disc that. So we're actually going to rename this model, and this will be something that we can introduce at a later time.
And ironically, we actually built this before the pandemic even happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely coincidental that we did this the Plague.
This is another one of my favorite models here. This is a complement to the Axiom fairway driver. Again, this fills some of our needs in our fairway lineup. This one in particular is going to be a very understable fairway driver that you'll be able to turn over with moderate power. It doesn't take as much power as some of our older fairways. This is something that if you have lower arm speed or if you need that touch, especially through the woods, this fairway driver is going to be your disc. This model here is going to be the same fit and finish as your reactor, but it has a lower nose, so it's going to have a lot more glide, something that you can force to turn over just a little bit easier than the reactor. This is actually kind of neat. This is actually a 3D printed prototype of our understable mid-range. This is actually made out of hard plastic. The reason why we 3D print some models, again, I don't do this for every disc. Since the understable mid-range is a really key mid-range that's going to be replacing the theory, I want to take my time and make sure I have a good hand feel, get that geometry just right. And 3D printing a disc is something that's relatively easy to do, and it just gives you a rough guideline to go by. This is another 3D printed prototype. This one in particular I'm pretty excited about, and I know a lot of fans have been asking us for this for many years. This is actually a 3D printed lid. This is kind of a unique lid, however. Some of the characteristics are mostly a hybrid golf lid. So this is going to share a lot of the characteristics of a traditional disc golf putter, but at the same time, it's going to be something that's very glidey, something you can throw with low speed, low power, and I believe you can even play catch with this disc. Our design goal with this lid prototype is something that you can readily have in your disc golf bag. You can pull it out, warm up, play catch with a friend, or even use it on the course for very technical lines. And again, this is actually going to be an MVP overmolded lid. This 3D printed prototype is just a single piece just to give us a representation of the overall feel and flight. Another exciting model that we're producing is the Cosmic Trace. Again, Cosmic's been quite popular this year with the development of it, and the Cosmic Trace is something that's actually going to be introduced in the GYROPALOOZA pack. And actually, a lot of them, if you have a UV light, you can see that a lot of the colors are UV reactive. And that's an artifact of using a lot of fluorescent colorant in some of our new discs. Again, that's something that we were able to do with our in-house molding, is introduce a lot of the UV dyes and colorants to really make our colors stand out and pop. Another thing I want to talk about is our Electron plastic. Over the years, we've been through a couple of blends of Electron plastic, but now that we've been able to bring things in-house and really take our time and develop a perfected Electron blend that we like, the main features that we've been really going for is in trying to enhance our durability while maintaining the grip. And our current blend that we're now using in Electron really achieves that. And also in addition, we can do it in Cosmic technology, which is a fun artifact of that. And in particular, this is the Cosmic Electron Pilot. We'll be able to do this in all 3 firmnesses. In fact, we ran enough inventory to release this season. However, with the extraordinary demand, our production numbers that we ran are far below what we actually need to run to introduce this. So we're actually going to have to rerun this into our inventory before we can launch it. But it's something that you can look forward to.
So yeah, the GYROPALOOZA packs is something that we're really excited about, just because it has a disc that everyone's been highly anticipating to come back in stock, the Neutron Relay. The Neutron Relay was one of the first discs to go out of stock because of the reconditioning process. It's been out of stock for more than a year. Since last year, it's been out of stock, and so people have been eagerly looking forward to that coming back in stock. And it was one of the molds that we reconditioned this year, and so we finally have got that disc produced back in stock. And also, now that the mold's been reconditioned, we've been able to produce it in the Cosmic Neutron plastic. So that'll be kind of a key feature in the GYROPALOOZA packs. Both the standard pack and the mega pack will have the Cosmic Neutron Relay, and also we'll be adding in the Cosmic Neutron Trace into it. And Chad, if you want to show them the Cosmic Neutron Trace, some of those colors look really good.
A lot of the colors of Cosmic has been just phenomenal, and in particular, our latest runs, Cosmic Trace being a good example. Again, the colors, the vibrancy, the swirls, it's quite a unique feature in Cosmic that we've been pretty happy with to develop.
Yep, and also the Cosmic Neutron Trace was, again, this was a disc that we ran back in March, right before the shutdown. We had a supply of them. We were planning to release them this spring. We got hit the shutdown, couldn't release it. Then after the pandemic happened, the demand was so extraordinary that we realized that new releases that we do just need a much larger production run. So that's why we haven't been able to release this yet. This disc was actually produced back in March. It's going to release earlier this year, but we just could not release it because of the increase in demand. they are on the schedule. We will be running those soon, so that will be coming soon. Although we've been eager to release it for a long time. Kind of another focal point of the packs was the prototype Eclipse 2.0 disc. There's a few prototypes: the Pilot, the Trace, and the Tesla. It's a randomly sorted model. So, and we had what we thought was an adequate supply of the Glow prototype discs, but we were just overwhelmed with the demand, and we sold out over the weekend. And we absolutely appreciate the support. Unfortunate circumstances that we sold out of the Glow disc. So we tried to come up with a good substitution, and so we had a good supply of the streamlined Eclipse that we'll be adding in there. We'll be putting the GYROPALOOZA stamp on there to make them unique. Nice little collectible there. So you are still able to get the packs with the Glow discs. So we didn't want the packs to go out of stock, so we really said to add in something, a good alternative. And that was the best alternative we can come up with. And so if those sell out, we'll keep adding in alternatives. And we want to try to get enough packs for everyone out there. Also in the packs, we've got Lab Seconds. They will be in the Mega Pack. You got 15 of them that will be in there. Several different molds. A lot of the molds that we've been running production this year, by bringing the production in-house, we've been able to set the standards much higher. And so with the much higher standards that we've been setting, you get a lot more factory seconds. And they're perfectly functioning discs. They adhere to all of our standards of flight. They just might have small cosmetic defects, and so rather than putting those to waste, we want to sell them to you guys at a reduced price. So it's a great deal to get 15 fully functional discs into the pack for only $150. So really good deal, and we've got a lot of them just because we've been setting the standards so high, and just a lot of cosmetic defects. And the Rover Kart series is something else that we're still constantly working on. Karts have a lot more engineering behind them. There's a lot more development in those, so they do take more time. We still got the Rover Kart. We're working on other options. Everyone we've been seeing a lot of requests for a Rover Kart with a seat. We are working on it. Just there's a lot more engineering behind getting the seat just right. So it is coming, and just want to reiterate that the Rover is a whole series of karts, not just one Rover model. So we are working on more models, just like how we've got the Black Hole Basket series. The Rover Kart is a series of karts of different styles and options. So definitely more options are coming as we're always working on them. Well, that concludes our GYROPALOOZA for 2020. We've tried to touch base on all of our products, everything that we've got developed, things that we are working on, and hope we answered a lot of your questions and gave you a good insight to HQ. We really look forward to seeing you guys hopefully next year.
Yeah, and again, this was a different GYROPALOOZA experience that we planned on having, but again, we want to just give a shout out to all of our fans that have been here throughout the years, ever since it was just a small fan meetup to this big GYROPALOOZA event. Again, I just want to iterate that we can't, express how thankful we are to our dedicated fans, our dealers for their patience this season as we've gone through this, tremendous wild season.
Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next year.
Yeah, thanks guys.